yeah, so I'm in love with hats. Hello, I'm Demi. I'm in love with hats. This has become like a new obsession, this hat right here. I saw someone when I was in Cannes and she wore a hat with like every single one of her outfits, like hat, massive glasses, and she was so beautiful and mysterious and like everything, and it just made me fall in love with the hat thing. Then I tried this and I was like, yes, I'm sold on the hats. So just so you're wondering why I'm wearing a hat, I obviously have just been away and I've acquired quite a few different fragrances, none that I don't like. All of the fragrances that I got while I was away, some were purchased, some were given to me, but I am in love with every single one. There was no way I was gonna lug all these fragrances back in my suitcase that I didn't really like or I liked a little bit. It was only the fragrances that I loved the most. So anyway, today I'm going to be doing a video. It's the fall and winter fragrances that you must try. 3 of these fragrances in here I have spoke about from time to time on my channel. The rest are brand new, brand spanking new, and I really want you guys to go and check them out. Like, I promise you, you will not regret watching this video, learning about these fragrances and going and trying them for yourself. You will not regret it because these fragrances are incredible. So for me, as I'm just coming out of the fall and winter, which I'm kind of sad about because I love cold weather, I love the rain, I love it, and I'm coming into spring now, so none of these fragrances are going to serve me very well right now. So I wanted to show you guys. Share with you what, if I was going to fall and winter right now, these are the fragrances that I would be wearing. So let's start off with one that I have already spoken about before. This is from Guerlain, and this is Tonka Imperial. Now this list is like a unisex sort of list. There is actually none in here that I would say is feminine, masculine. They're all unisex to me, every single one. So Tonka Imperial, of course. It's one of the best fragrances, I think, from Guerlain, in my opinion. I think it is beautiful. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous tonka bean scent with a little bit of incense, a very buttery sort of fragrance. Like, you really get this like buttery, smooth, creamy tonka bean. Very well blended. I would say this one is more of a fall rather than the cool, like cold, intense winter. This is a fall fragrance. So Tonka Imperial from Guerlain. Get on it if you don't know it already. I'm sure that you already know it because it's pretty popular. So yes. Okay, so let's talk about a new one. Now, I feel pretty special because this fragrance hasn't even been released yet. This is a new fragrance from Roger. Roger Dove. I met him in Cannes. It was surreal. Like, sitting in front of Roger Dove, like having a conversation over a coffee with him, was crazy to me. That was like, I don't know, it was like I was like a kid in like a fantasy land. Like, it was so insane to me. So anyway, he gave me like 4 fragrances from his new line, which is a Parfum Cologne line. So they have 4 or 5, how many do they have? They have quite a few in the line. They kind of reconstruct certain fragrances from his brand, and they kind of make the top notes last even longer, and the dry down is the same as the original. So this is the Enigma Parfum Cologne. So obviously it's like the Enigma, the original Enigma, but because it's the Parfum Cologne, the top notes last a lot longer, and then it dries down into the same Enigma fragrance, which is incredible. I have heard so much about this fragrance, like not this one particularly, but the Enigma. It is absolutely amazing. It's a little bit like cloves, like a little bit. It's boozy. It's got cognac, I'm pretty sure, vanilla, some ginger. That's where I think I'm getting that like kind of spice clove sort of thing going on from the ginger. It is fantastic. I now know why people love this fragrance so much, because to me, this is phenomenal. For the fall and winter, I cannot imagine like a better fragrance than this. So for me, this is a total winner. The other one that I adore from this line is the vetiver, because I love vetiver. I love vetiver in my fragrances. I love vetiver on a man especially. So anyway, I'm just letting you guys know. Let's talk about one that I've already spoken about before, Carlisle. Now, I talked about in my review of Carlisle, I said that my 3 favorites and the 3 that you should get from Parfum de Marly are Leighton, Harrod, and Carlisle. But everyone was so mad that I didn't mention Carlisle. Of course, Carlisle is literally my favorite personally. For me, my favorite from the entire brand. But I was talking for a man. If I could only recommend the 3, if I could recommend 4, it would be Carlisle, Harrod, Leighton, and Carlisle. So 4, it would be them. But right now, if I could only recommend 3 to a guy, I would skip this and get the Carlisle because it's more masculine. This one is kind of got a little bit of a, not femininity to it, but it's a little bit more, how do you say, a little bit more, like this is my favorite, like this is my personal favorite that I like to wear myself. So I guess it's a little bit more unisex than the other three that I recommended, Harrod, Leighton and Carlisle. This one is definitely more unisex. So that's the only reason at all. But for me, Carlisle, masterpiece. It is so unique. It is so incredible. To me, it smells like white chocolate. It reminds me of smooth. It has a little bit of like this, it's woody, it's creamy, sandalwood, patchouli, but the patchouli is so smooth. It's so smooth and refined that you barely notice it, to me, personally. And it's got a sweetness, a little bit of a powderiness. Oh, it is heaven. Carlisle and Harrod for me are the king of the king for fall and winter. Carlisle, Harrod, if you want the best fall winter fragrances from Marley. Oh, and also Leighton exclusive. So I would say Carlisle, Harrod, Leighton exclusive for the fall and winter. You're done. You're done. You're epic. You are the best smelling person in your city. That's it. So Carlisle for me is a total 10 out of 10. Okay, so one that I haven't spoken about before, and I really cannot wait to talk about this, but it is so expensive. It hurts me to even think how much this fragrance costs. It is around like 600, 700 US. That hurts. That really hurts me. But it's such a great fragrance. So definitely try this one first before you get it because it's so pricey. This is called Melt My Heart from Strangelove in New York City. Now, this is a gourmand. This is a gourmand, how they say it in France, a gourmand. A gourmand fragrance. This is a total gourmand fragrance. It's for the guy or the girl who loves their gourmands. To me, this is one of the best chocolate fragrances that I have ever tried. It smells like real high quality chocolate mixed with oud. To me, that's all I really get. It's a very complex fragrance. I have never smelled anything like this in my life. Like I really haven't. So you definitely have to try this one first. But for me, oud mixed with chocolate in a fragrance. It's warm, it's sweet. Like I said, so pricey, so definitely give it a try before you buy it because of how expensive the brand is and this fragrance. So Melt My Heart from Strangelove. If you like oud, if you like gourmand, get it. Next up is another one I have already spoken about before. I've only got one more that I've spoken about before and then the rest are new. So I promise, guys. Another kind of chocolatey fragrance. Angel Muse from Mugler. Listen to me right now. Guy, girl, anyone, this fragrance right here is one of the best that you could wear in the fall and winter. I know that this is more marketed towards women. To me, it doesn't smell feminine at all. Like at all, period. It does not smell feminine. To me, it just smells fantastic. For me, I'm not the biggest fan of Angel, like the original Angel. I like it now. Like I like it. I'm kind of like in between, like loving it, hating it. I'm not really sure. But the Angel Muse is phenomenal. It is one of the best designer fragrances that I've ever tried. I think it is literally a 10 out of 10. It's got vetiver, hazelnut cacao spread, whatever that is, and patchouli. But for me, if I could say how it smells, I've said it many times, it smells like powdered Nutella. So get on this. If that sounds like your sort of fragrance, give it a try. Guy or girl, give this fragrance a try. You will thank me. You will thank me for this recommendation for sure. I said in like a previous video that like one of my favorite brands of all time is Initio. I literally think it's like my favorite brand. Initio, Parfum de Marly, Fragrance du Bois, Roger. They're like my favorites of the favorites of the best of the best of the best. In my eyes, they can do no wrong. Even if I don't like the fragrance, I love the fragrance. Like even if I don't like the fragrance, I like, how do you say it? Like I just love the brands. The fragrances that they create are just, in my opinion, I have so much respect for them. So for me, this one right here is a go out and get it right now. Right here. This is Side Effect from Initio. Now, I actually have heard quite a few people talk about this. I had no idea like what it would be like, if the hype was like worth it. But honestly, Initio, go to your local department store, go to wherever you can to find the fragrances from Initio and try them all. And I can guarantee that you will come back to me and say, thank you so much for showing me. Thank you so much for introducing me to this brand. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Because the fragrances themselves, they speak for themselves. They are 10 out of 10, every single one. Every single fragrance from Initio is a 10 out of 10. So Side Effect to me is like a vanilla, tobacco, sweet, so well blended, like so well blended that it is insane. If a guy wore this on a date with me, whew, I have no idea what would go down. I'm joking, but honestly, if a guy wore this on a date with me, I would be head over heels in like the first 5 seconds. It's incredible. So it's Side Effect from Initio, get on it. Okay, so we have one from Atelier des Os, which I always love their bottles. I think that they're so cool. This one is called Crépuscule d'Amer, I think it's pronounced anyway. And this is probably one of the most unique from the list, I would say, because this doesn't really, to me, this could work in the spring, fall, winter, maybe not the summertime. I think it would be a bit too intense, but I adore this. I adore this. And I was looking at fragrance card, the notes and everything, and there's a lot of people that dislike this fragrance, which I actually don't really understand, because for me, when I smelled it, I like fell off my chair. I was like, oh my God, wow. Like, in the brand, the perfumer and the brand director was like, are you really? Like, you really like it? And I was like, I adore this fragrance. Like, I adore it. It is coming home with me. I need this fragrance. I love it. To me, it's ambery, a little bit citrusy. There's definitely like a punch to it. Like, there's a real punch to this fragrance, like a citrusy kind of orange punch to it. Like I said, ambery, spicy. It is, like I just said, it is phenomenal. Like, I keep saying phenomenal, but they all are. To be honest with you guys, they all are winners for me. So yeah, anyway, I fell in love with this fragrance. I wore it so much when I was in Cannes. I've already worn it quite a lot already, and definitely check it out. This one does not get enough love at all. For me, it's way above like Lune Feline, what's it called? The Iris one. For me, I like fragrances like this. It's so sexy. So on a guy, I think that this would be phenomenal. This would be so good on a guy. Okay, so next up we have one that I've already spoken about so much on my channel, but I have to just quickly slip it into the list. Harrod, of course, Harrod. There was a couple of guys that were wearing this when I was in Cannes, and wow. No words, speechless. This fragrance is literally a masterpiece in my eyes. This is a masterpiece. Same with Carlisle, but this one, there's something about it that I find literally irresistible. It's one of those fragrances that it drives me insane. So for me, Harrod, top of the top. Tobacco, vanilla, sweet, a little bit of like a cherry cough syrup sort of vibe. Like I just said, this drives me insane. So I quickly wanted to mention it because for me, this is so worth checking out. All of Parfum de Marly fragrances are worth checking out. Like, you should just go down to their boutique. If there's a boutique where you live, go smell them all, go try them, get a discovery set, something, because honestly, they're so worth it. So Harrod for me, yeah. I have never talked about this brand on my channel, but I'm really happy to have this fragrance. It's from House of Matriarch, and this is Coco Blanc. Now, I have heard a few people talk about this fragrance and kind of say what they think about it. For me, this is fantastic. It is fantastic for the fall and winter. I think it would be disgusting in the summer and like the heat, because it's very, very strong sort of scent. It's very like creamy, smoky, milky, sweet. It's fantastic. It is really, really, really fantastic. I think it's very sexy. Very yummy. So for me, this one is a winner for sure. House of Matriarch is an incredible niche house. Their fragrances to me are the epitome of niche. They really do smell niche. Like, if you could think of a fragrance company that just embodies niche, it is House of Matriarch to me. So this one, Coco Blanc, is one of my favorites. Like I said, it's kind of got, I think it's got white chocolate and chai, like cinnamon, but make sure that you like kind of like unique fragrances. You have to like your unique fragrances because this is definitely unique. It's like, as I said, kind of milky, creamy, spicy, chai, white chocolate. It's beautiful. I don't know if you guys are ready for this, but for me, this is a massive claim, like a massive, massive, massive claim. When I was away, there was one fragrance, actually, you know what, there's about 3, but this one in particular stood out to me above all of the rest. It was the fragrance that I smelled when I first tried it, and I was like, I'm not too sure, like, I'm not sure, let's see. I took it like a little decant, I wore it. After that, I have never fallen so hard in love with a fragrance, ever. And this fragrance to me is a billion out of 10 masterpiece, literally. And I'm very excited to talk to you guys about it. This is from Initio, and this is Oud for Greatness. First of all, I want to say, like, don't we look so cute together? Quick story, like really quick because I'm filming too much. It's a very long video. I was sitting next to these 2 guys in a restaurant in Cannes, and one of them was a winemaker. I have no idea what you call it, but he was a winemaker and he makes wine all over the world. He's super famous. I had no idea who he was because I'm uneducated when it comes to wine and alcohol too much. Like, I'm not good. So basically I was sitting next to these 2 guys, we were talking, we got into a conversation, we're having dinner, we're having escargot and bread and fish, like we were just eating, having a good time together. And this guy goes, I have to tell you, you smell phenomenal. I hate perfume. I absolutely hate it. I hate women's perfumes. I think they're too sweet, they're this, they're that. But I have to tell you how much I love your fragrance. And this is from a guy who makes wine. So I was like, oh my God, really? And he told me that he's never smelled anything so good. Then this fragrance right here. He had no idea about the brand. He has no idea. I wrote it down for him at the end. But I was wearing Oud for Greatness. And to me, he's so right. This fragrance to me, I fell in love with it as soon as I put it onto my skin. I fell head over heels for this fragrance as soon as I put it on my skin. This is a masterpiece, phenomenal scent. To me, it's Oud. It's very mysterious. There is a real mysterious vibe to this scent, which you would kind of imagine, but you have to try it. It is, again, like all of Initio, perfectly blended, so smooth. It is not what you would think for an Oud fragrance. For me, Oud is very pungent, it's very strong, it's very hard to kind of tone down. In here, you get the Oud, but there is some sort of magic going on in this scent that it's magic. It is truly a magic fragrance. I have no idea. You just have to go and smell it and put it on your skin and see for yourself. Incredible scent. It's oud, saffron, nutmeg, but the notes don't even make it sound like anything in your head. Like when I looked at the notes, I didn't even bother looking through them properly because there's no way that I can explain how this fragrance smells at all. It just smells to me magical and mysterious. That's it. So that is it, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed hearing about my new recommendations for the fall and winter, fragrances that you have to try for the fall winter. I have to say, this is literally like my favorite fragrance at the moment. I think it is, like I just said, it's unbeatable right now for me. This is just blows everything that I've tried out of the water. So I just want you guys to know that. I want you guys to try it. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching the video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I'm very glad to be back and filming again. It's very exciting for me. So yes, thank you for watching and I'll see you soon. Bye.